Great to have you with us. Joining us now, former campaign manager for the President Trump campaign. He's now actively participating in this campaign in many ways. He's also an author. Got to read his book, Let Trump Be Trump. He's got another book coming out, Trump's Enemies. That's coming out November 22nd. Circle that date on your calendar. Circle two dates, November 6th and November 22nd. Joining us now, Corey Lewandowski. Hey, Corey, great to have you with us.
Good morning, John. It's great to be with you.
So, give us an update. Where are you traveling today? I know you're with the vice president. Tell me what's happening.
Well, first, let me just back up and tell you, yesterday we spent the day in Michigan traveling on behalf of two congressional candidates and one candidate for the U.S. Senate. His name is John James. He is a rock star. He's the future of the Republican Party. And we may wake up 1 week from tomorrow and see John James, combat veteran, African-American, as the next Republican U.S. Senator from Michigan. It is a big upset in the works. I like it a lot. I spent all day in Michigan yesterday, and I'm very excited about his candidacy. Today, the trip is to Alabama. We're going to continue the vice president is going to continue to raise money for the Great America Committee, which is his hard money political action committee. He's raising money for the National Republican Senatorial Committee. And this marks somewhere around the 170th trip and event that the vice president has done since the start of this year in order to help candidates running for office.
Well, he certainly worked hard, and I want to make note that Corey Lewandowski with us is also a senior advisor for the Great America Committee, and for more information on that, that's the vice president's hard money PAC. Go to greatamericacommittee.com, greatamericacommittee.com. Corey, I want to get to another race that you told me about months ago, and I got to say, I didn't take you seriously. You said, John, I want you to keep an eye on New Jersey, and Bob Hogan has a shot to pull the upset of the day there. And I'm like, oh, come on, you got to be kidding me. Now we're looking at polls. It's tied. He could win New Jersey. You were right.
John, I know people don't believe me sometimes. They think I'm crazy or whatever it may be. Like, hey, Lewandowski doesn't know what he's doing again. But I've been watching this race. I know this candidate. He's a fantastic candidate. He's strong. He's put a lot of his own personal resources in. The hard reelect for Senator Menendez, who was tried by the Obama Justice Department for his crimes, the hard reelect for Menendez is like 24%. And the people of New Jersey deserve better. Even the liberal newspapers in New Jersey are saying, boy, basically the guy is a criminal is all about what they said. They said you can vote for him, but it's not going to help New Jersey. And I'm telling you, we have an opportunity in that race to put a Republican in the U.S. Senate from New Jersey, which 7 months ago nobody would have thought of. That race is a nail-biter. I think we win it.
Okay, I'm predicting that the Republicans pick up 5 seats in the U.S. Senate. Call me crazy, but I think you're going to hold serve in Arizona with McSally. Nevada, I didn't think you would win that, but I understand that the Heller campaign is doing much better than people thought. If he hangs on, then you've got 5 seats you can pick up. If you pick New Jersey up, you actually can pick up 6 seats. It's incredible, right?
Well, that's right. And John, we're going to hold Tennessee. Marshall Blackburn is a great candidate there. That's
right.
The Bob Corker retirement seat. We're going to hold that. And then our opportunities to win are vast. Look, the president and I believe the vice president going back out to Montana, that's an opportunity for us to win. Missouri is an opportunity where we're going to win. North Dakota, we're going to win, I think. Florida, we're exceptionally competitive, and I think Rick Scott pulls that race out right there. Indiana, the vice president's home state, I know the president and the vice president both going there later this week. That's an opportunity for a pickup. That's 5 seats right there, excluding the New Jersey race, excluding the Michigan race. Look, if things break our way on election night, which 2 years ago, not only did they break our way, but they broke our way big because the people were tired of Washington send a message. If the people send a message again, we could have the largest Republican majority in the U.S. Senate in somewhere north of 80 years. We could end up with 58 or 59 Republican members. It would be phenomenal. And just think of what those people could do to get the Trump-Pence agenda done.
Well, you really could have 59 if you say, because you've got 5 that I think we're going to win. Those are the 5 that I've predicted are going to go the Republicans' way, Trump's way. But then West Virginia, New Jersey, and Michigan. And you look at the West Virginia polls and you say, Manchin's going to win. He's way ahead. But then you see the president going back to West Virginia again. So they must know something we don't. But, Corey, comment on the president's rally schedule. I mean, it's unbelievable. He's got like 9 rallies in 5 days. It's an unbelievable schedule he has.
You know, John, is reminiscent of the 2016 campaign when he just sheer outworked Hillary Clinton, when he was doing 4, 5, and 6 rallies a day at the last week of the election. And you'd think every single time you turned on the television, he was doing another rally in another state in a different time zone. He's got 11 rallies starting tomorrow. So from Wednesday to next Tuesday, he's got, Wednesday to next Monday, he's got 11 rallies planned. That means he's doing on some days 3 rallies in multiple time zones in multiple states. This is a guy who wants to make sure that the people know what is at stake in this election. And you couple that with the intense schedule that Mike Pence has, and you're going to see the Trump-Pence administration, their team, doing north of 18 rallies in the next 7 days. That's a phenomenal number. And this is because they know exactly what is at stake. Keeping the House in Republicans' hands is absolutely critical unless we want to divert to the chaos, which was, the Kavanaugh hearings, which is that the Democrats have no agenda. Their agenda is impeachment of the president. Their agenda is impeachment of Justice Kavanaugh. Their agenda is getting rid of ICE and open borders. And so that's what's at stake this election. So you're going to see between the president and the vice president something north of 18 rallies starting tomorrow all the way through Election Day, which is very, very reminiscent of Election Day 2016 leading up to it.
I remember that very well, and that was, I think, the reason you guys were able to put the president over the top. You did rally after rally after rally. I remember emceeing a rally at, where it was at George Mason University Saturday night for Vice President Mike Pence came in, and then I went and emceed one the following night, Sunday night at like 1 a.m. in Loudoun County someplace. So, I mean, the schedule this man can keep President Trump is unbelievable. Corey Lewandowski with us, former campaign manager for the Donald Trump for President campaign, is also a very noted author. Got to read his book, Let Trump Be Trump. Best book written on the campaign. It's just a great read. If you haven't, go buy it. You can buy it at B. Dalton. You can buy it at Amazon. Anywhere it's there, Let Trump Be Trump. Got another book coming out November 22nd, Trump's Enemies After the Election. Corey Lewandowski is going to name names of the people in the agencies, in the White House, in the West Wing that go in there every day to do nothing but undermine the president and his agenda. Corey, let's get to the House. Math there a little tighter. I had Scott Rasmussen on yesterday. I trust him. I think he's accurate. And he said to me, John, look, the Democrats need 23 seats, but they don't really need 23. They need 12. They need 11 seats because 12 of the 23 are already gone for the Republicans. Mail them in. Democrats are going to win those. So there's a remaining 29 Republican seats that are toss-ups held by Republicans now that the Democrats have to win 11 of those 29, and Nancy Pelosi has the gavel. How do you pull this out?
Well, look, I think we've got an opportunity for a couple pickup seats. I know I've mentioned this many times, and now that we're a week out, I think it's fair to say that the Republicans are going to pick up those 2 seats in Minnesota. So our majority is not 23, but I believe it to be 25, which is a little better for us. And that being said, when I look at the generic ballot, meaning are you going to vote for a Democrat or a Republican, regardless of who is on the ballot in the midterm elections, that number, according to the Washington Post, which I take with a grain of salt, is a -3 for the Republicans. At a -3, the Republicans are going to hold the House. We've seen that number as bad as a -12 or a -15 in the past.
Right.
And now the Republicans have closed that gap dramatically. And, I've been in Pennsylvania last week. I was in Michigan yesterday, Alabama today. I think I'm in Florida. I mean, I'm just tomorrow in Florida, I believe. So all over the country. And what we're seeing is in the races where Democrats are supposed to win in a walk, and I'm thinking specifically of Pennsylvania and some seats in New Jersey, where Democrats were just supposed to win. It was done. Those races have become much more competitive. And I look at the member-to-member matchup, meaning 2 incumbents running against each other in a new district. There's only one of those in the country right now. It's Keith Rothfuss against Connor Lamb in Pennsylvania. And Connor Lamb won the special election against Gary Saccone a couple months back. Mm-hmm. And Keith Rothfuss is the incumbent because of redistricting, they put two incumbent members of Congress together. That is a race where Conor Lamb 6 weeks ago was up 14 to 17 points. Today, that's a 4-point race, which tells me Republicans are coming home. They're energized. The president and the vice president are doing their job reminding everyone exactly what's at stake. So I respect Scott. I think he's an excellent pollster. But I also remember where we were 2 years ago, John, where they told us Donald Trump's chances of being the president of the United States were less than 1% when we woke up on election morning, when they told us that the Republicans were going to get blown out, that we couldn't win in any of these places, that, race after race after race, from Pennsylvania to Wisconsin, those U.S. senators are going to lose because Donald Trump was on the top of the ticket. Not only did we win those races, Donald Trump pulled them across the line. And now I think the people are understanding that while the president isn't on the ballot officially in a week from today, his policies are, his agenda is, and I think they're going to turn out and say, look, right now we are better off today than we were 2 years ago, and we don't want to go backwards. So I know what Scott's numbers say. I respect him a lot. I think we're going to do better than expected. Do I think we're going to gain seats in the House? I don't. I'm a realist. But do I think there's the momentum right now, the wind at our back a little bit, that allows the Republicans to hold on to the House in a smaller majority? Yes, I do.
All right, so I'm thinking we can hold on by 3 to 5. I think that's the most realistic scenario we have, but it's good to see that some of the momentum is changing. Corey, over the weekend, the horrible shooting at the synagogue, then we got these pipe bombs. That's crazy. Crazy people doing crazy things. The fake news, the Washington Post runs an editorial basically blaming Trump for all of this. Number one, what is your reaction to this?
To me, and I do want to give a little credit to some of the media outlets over this weekend to call out the Washington Post on their disgusting, not only their editorial, but their headline, which appeared on Saturday morning, blaming Trump for the pipe bomb issues. And Chris Wallace from Fox News held up the newspaper. It was the lead story on Saturday morning, and Chris showed it on Sunday, and it said, Trump supporter, bombing, whatever it was. It's amazing to me the vitriol of some of the members of the mainstream media who want to blame the president for things that he has nothing to do with. I don't ever recall, John, I'm not trying to pass the buck or diverge here, but I don't ever recall them saying, Bernie Sanders supporter mows down, tries to kill 200 members of Congress at a congressional baseball practice. You don't see that. You didn't see, and I'm disgusted by this, but the individual who committed these heinous crimes at the synagogue or is alleged to have committed these crimes was a Trump hater. You don't see Democrat supporter commits atrocity at synagogue as the headline. Look, the media wants to go after this president for all the wrong reasons. They don't want to give him credit, and they are, at some level, responsible for the headlines and the editorials that they print of driving a narrative which has vitriol against the president, and it's shameful, and they need to be held accountable too, and I hope that the American people do that.
Well, I'm not sure if they will, but look, I go to those press conferences. As you know, I'm a White House correspondent. I was there yesterday, and the questions you get from some of the media, the fake news media in the front row, especially CNN, it's just ridiculous. And that's just part of the problem is out of 10 questions, you're going to get 3 that are legitimate. All the others are just to embarrass the president or shout something out or some other such nonsense. Now, you had the bombing, the pipe bomb, crazy guy that got arrested. You had the horrible shooting in the synagogue. As you know, the president and the first lady going to Pittsburgh today. That's the right thing to do. A lot of people telling me, look, this has slowed the Republican momentum down. The people are now scared about what's going on, and maybe it's the president's rhetoric, and that the momentum the Republicans have stopped. True or false?
No, it's false. As a matter of fact, our country is going to become stronger after a national tragedy. It always does. And what I have called for, and I said this last week and I'll say it again, is we need to be able to disagree with each other but not be disagreeable. The president is the consoler-in-chief. He and the first lady, as well as his daughter and son-in-law, who happen to both be Jewish, are going to Pittsburgh today to be part of the comforting process for those families who are impacted by this and the nation as a whole. We can never tolerate this, but this is where the president is his strongest. When he sees something that is wrong, he doesn't look at Republican or Democrat, independent, black, white, yellow, green. It doesn't matter. He just wants to fix it. And what took place in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania was a horrific display of atrocity, of anti-Semitism, which will never be tolerated by anyone in this country, should never be tolerated by anyone in this country. And this president's going to go there and remind the world of why we're the greatest country. We are going to unite when tragedy happens. He is going to be, he is the president of everybody in this country, and toning down the rhetoric is important. We have a very important election in 7 days, but no election is worth what is taking place in issues like that synagogue or attempting to have pipe bombs kill elected or former elected officials. We're the greatest country in the world. We're not a banana republic. We need to understand that we are better when we are stronger and we are together, and that's what the president's going to talk about in Pittsburgh.
We're with Corey Lewandowski, Senior Advisor for the Vice President's Political Action Committee, now Great America Committee. You can get more information. Just go to greatamericacommittee.com. Corey, I've got about a minute and a half. The president, in an interview with Axios, we understand last night, said that he is ready to do an executive order to stop the birthright citizenship, the anchor baby idea. A lot of us have been saying that's one of the biggest problems we have with immigration. What say you?
Look, it is an issue with immigration. Unfortunately, I don't think the president has the legal authority to amend the Constitution of the United States. And what will happen is, my guess, and it's exactly what took place when he issued other executive orders, is a court is going to step in. They're going to put a stay on it immediately, and I'm sure the White House has already thought through what the legal challenges are going to be to this, and ultimately this is going to end up being litigated at the Supreme Court at the highest levels of the land, and they're going to make a decision, but that decision will not be reached in the next 7 days. It probably won't be reached in the next 3 months. But the president and his team, White House counsel, et cetera, believes that there is a quirk in the amendment that says that the individuals born here are subjected to the laws of the country that they're in, and there is a quirk there that says these people were here illegally, so they're not given citizenship through birthright, and that's what I think they're going to litigate in the court system. But this executive order, if it is released, will not be implemented immediately. My guess is there will be a stay or multiple stays put on it by a federal judge, and this will be heard at the Supreme Court sometime after the election.
All right, I think that's exactly it. We got 7 days. I want to thank Corey Lewandowski for being with us. Thank you so much. Corey Lewandowski, former campaign manager, Trump for President campaign. Go read his book.